What if I told you the government we see isn't the one in charge? Behind the scenes, there's a hidden network controlling the game. This is the concept of the deep state. But what is the deep state? And is it real? To some, it's just a wild conspiracy theory. To others, it's a hidden truth they're desperate to expose. Let's dive into where this idea came from. The term deep state wasn't born in America. It first appeared in Turkey to describe a shadowy network of power brokers. Military leaders, politicians, and mobsters were said to control everything. From there, the idea spread to other nations. In the US, the deep state narrative exploded in recent years. It became especially popular during Trump's presidency. Trump claimed he was battling a corrupt system of unelected elites. He called it draining the swamp. But this wasn't the first time Americans whispered about hidden powers. The Kennedy assassination fueled early theories of government cover-ups. Even Watergate sparked questions about a shadowy system. For believers, the deep state includes intelligence agencies like the CIA and FBI. They say these agencies act independently of elected officials. Others point to massive corporations and lobbyists. These groups pour billions into politics to protect their interests. So what's the evidence? Let's start with the Snowden revelations. Snowden exposed how the NSA was spying on millions of Americans. For many, this was proof of a government operating in secret. Then there's the role of classified leaks, like the Pentagon Papers, which revealed hidden motives during Vietnam. But skeptics argue these are just isolated events. They say politics is messy, not secretly controlled. Still, the deep state narrative continues to grow. Why? Because it taps into a deep mistrust of authority. It plays on our fear of the unknown. And it's easy to see why people believe power in America is undeniably complex. There are unelected officials with massive influence. For example, Federal Reserve leaders shape the economy with little oversight. Military generals also hold immense sway over foreign policy. But does this mean they're working together in secret? Or is it just a fragmented system of competing interests? For believers, events like 9/11 raise more questions. They argue these tragedies were manipulated for control. And then there's the COVID-19 pandemic. Some claimed it was a tool to expand government power. But does this prove a deep state exists? Skeptics argue these theories oversimplify reality. The world is chaotic, not always planned. But the idea of a deep state remains powerful. It gives people an easy way to explain complex problems. And it keeps growing with every new controversy, like the Hunter Biden laptop leaks or election interference allegations. Each fuels the belief in hidden forces at play. So what do we do with these theories? Do we dismiss them entirely? Or do we investigate further? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Power in America is vast and complicated. But does this mean every action is coordinated by a shadowy cabal? Or is it simply the messy nature of democracy? For now, the deep state remains a polarizing mystery. Some see it as a hidden threat to freedom. Others dismiss it as paranoia. But one thing is clear. Power always leaves questions in its wake. And secrecy often breeds suspicion. So who do you think is really in charge? Is it the government we see? Or a hidden network pulling the strings? For now, the answers remain in the shadows. But one thing's for sure. As long as there's secrecy, theories will persist. And the deep state will remain a fascinating question. Is it a reality we just can't see? Or just a story we tell ourselves? Whatever the answer, it shapes how we view the world and challenges what we believe about power. So stay curious,